I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother, and for our February game chat, we are going to be talking about how to get a reluctant person to play a game with you, because that seems to come up this month in around Valentine's Day. People say, oh, what's a thing that I can do for you? And you can say, please play a board game with me. This applies both to significant other, to children, and first off, if you want somebody who doesn't really want to play a board game with you to play a game with you, step one, you bribe them. Or you can frame it as you are providing positive incentives to get them to play the game with you. You can offer to do something they want to do later. You can give them candy. You can offer to give them a pony. My children know that I'm joking when I do this, but I have literally said, I will give you a pony if you will play a game with me. And then they laugh. And sometimes they'll play a game with me. So you do something nice to get them to the table to begin with. Then you pick a game that should have good success with whoever you play with it. Shorter games with simple rules are generally your best bet if you're playing with somebody who's not really sure about sitting down and playing a game. Also, if it's a theme that they like, that will get them interested and excited about playing the game much more often than not. Make the rules simple and nice and not an ordeal to teach. If you can get over that hump, then that helps considerably for a lot of people. And then just make the game fun. A lot of times I'll put on, especially with the kids, I'll put on the music that they like. They'll discover that there's a bowl of popcorn beside us while we play. Favorite snacks are there. We just try to make it as nice as possible. I say encouraging things while they play and cheer them on. Some friendly smack talk, but only if I'm losing is when I say things like, oh, I'm gonna get you, but I'm clearly behind. There is a correct way to do your smack talk to make sure people are still having a fun time playing with you. And then I covered this in one of my other videos, but if it's a game you're very familiar with, you don't want to come running out and just annihilate this person the first time they're playing it with you. So this is an opportunity to use some alternate strategies or just try out different things if you played the game a bunch, because you don't want to obliterate them. That's not fun. It's okay if you win, but it's not okay if it's just an overwhelming victory. Then they don't want to play with you again, and this is an opportunity, because the more you can get them to the table and have it be fun, the more they'll want to come back. And then finally, it's okay if people just don't like certain games. If you say, oh, okay, how was this? And they say, oh, I just didn't really like it. Then there are so many other games out there. Just pick another one. Even my husband and I are each other's primary gaming partners, and we have certain games that we don't play with each other anymore. I don't know what's happened over the years, but he beats me at Gin Rummy about 90% of the time now, and it's not really fun for me anymore, so we don't play it anymore. Same thing with Fantasy Realms, one of my absolute favorite games, but in two-player mode, I don't know what the deal is, but I win about 90% of the time. It is not great fun for my husband, so we don't play it anymore. But I'd say my older daughter was an extremely reluctant gamer for a while, and I just made sure I would bribe, and then make sure it was fun for her when we played. So we have a level of trust that I'm trying to make things nice for her. She knows it's an easy way to get quality time with her mom, and we have a number of games that she really enjoys. So people can come around if you give them time and you give them an opportunity and just set them up for success. But Valentine's Day is a really good opportunity here to get people to play games with you who don't often do it. So I hope you have great success and use this day to your advantage. And now I'm going to talk about the games we've been playing lately. We had another Try-A-Zon game party sponsored by Exploding Kittens, and they sent us a few different games to try out. These three. The first one is their very newest game called Really Loud Librarians, and this is a word game in which you have a prompt, and instead of just having one letter that you have to say, okay, TV characters that begin with B, that you have to say, okay, come up with as many as that letter as possible, there's a little track that you move around, and you have 3 different letters to choose from for each time, and then you get to move along, and you have 3 different ones after that. And so it's a nice word game that's gentle enough for kids to be able to be successful at and actually help out. And I don't know, it's not actually a really loud game. The librarians are just a couple characters. I guess there's a bunch of letters, so that's like where the theme comes from. But it's a nice family level word game, and I like this because if you're in a family where you have kids, various ages, and different gaming abilities, sometimes it's hard to find like a party style game that the kids can be as successful at as the adults, and especially if you have like a 6-year-old in the mix and a 12-year-old, to have a game that both of them can do well at. This Exploding Kittens does this so well. The kids are into it. The topics are spot on for the kids. Most of them, my 10-year-old had trouble naming big box stores. He just was yelling out names that he made up and was not super helpful for that. But he was into the game, and he's not usually into these types of games. So that was really fun and exciting, and we had a blast playing it. And it grew on us because the first round or two, we weren't sure, like if only one team gets points per round, it's whoever makes it furthest around the board. And we thought, oh, okay, well, this one team is just going to beat the other team. But they have little bonus letters that you get to put out where if you say a word that starts with one of those letters, you get a bonus token. And so it makes it so there's the opportunity to score big on later rounds of the game. And so nobody's ever just so much in the lead, they're untouchable, which I like. It's difficult to play one of these games where you're like, oh, well, they've obviously already won because they're so far ahead. So it's really well put together. It's a nice family level word game. It's fun. The kids are, and like all the graphics are cute and Exploding Kittens, like the oatmeal style. So we really enjoyed it. And then they sent a couple of their other like bestseller hits, and I was happy because I hadn't actually tried Happy Salmon yet. And basically this is, if you have a bunch of 1st or 2nd graders, this is like their dream come true, because if you can high five and you can fist bump, and then they have a fish slap where you get to slap each other's forearms for one of the moves, then you can handle this game and you can do well at this game. And it's just fun. You're moving around, you're getting to high five people. You want to be first to go through your deck of cards that has all your different little actions on it. So it's super fun, cute, good for younger ages. We played this with a teenager who was he did okay with this. He was a little cool for this game, but he liked it. He hung in there. He really liked Really Loud Librarians. This one was not quite as exciting, but the pinnacle shocker was Throw Burrito, which is, after Exploding Kittens, is like the most famous and the most exciting of the Exploding Kittens games. The teenager described it as danger spoons, which I think is a pretty fun description, because if you're familiar with spoons, you're trying to collect all of a kind, and then you would grab a spoon out of the center of the table. Well, instead of grabbing a spoon, you're getting to start some sort of burrito brawl or battle. And there are these squishy little burritos that, oh my gosh, it's a game where you get to throw stuff at other people, and kids go nuts over this. And I had kind of, I had said that I hated this game because I'd played it once with just my oldest son, and immediately got clobbered by a burrito, and was like, you know, no, I don't need this. But playing it in an actual group environment with a bunch of people, it was super fun. Everybody was into it. Only once did one of these burritos end up in the kitchen sink. So, you know, be aware of your environment when you play. But the kids were so into it. It was fun. Even if you get hit by a burrito, it doesn't mean you're going to lose the game. It's just a negative point against you. At the end, you get a burrito bruise. So it's super cute. Way to go, Exploding Kittens. Our crew of, we played this when it was a daddy-daughter night. So it was moms and a bunch of boys, and the boys went nuts over all of these games. The other games we've been playing lately in our house, I have been working on a dragon-themed board game list, and the first one we've tried of the games that I ordered for that is Dragon Farkle, and we kind of got stuck on this one. I've just been playing it a bunch because we've enjoyed it so much. If you're familiar with Farkle, it's a pretty basic push your luck dice game, and this takes the basics of that game and then kind of like turns it into a more full-fledged board game where you have different character cards, you have special abilities and powers you get to use upon occasion, and then once you get up to a certain point level, you get to battle the dragon, and there's a specialty die you get to roll, and sometimes if you Farkle, if you've rolled the dragon on the specialty die, then it doesn't count against you, and so it's just jazzed up a pretty basic game, which nothing wrong with a basic game upon occasion, but I really like this. I've been begging to play this with my kids on repeat, and they're pretty into it because of the theme. So it's really cute. I'm excited about talking about the top 10 list, and we're going to play this a bunch more in the meantime while getting ready for it. And then the other list I've been working on is a princess-themed board game list, and the game I'm talking about is Hiss, because the princess games can be kind of hit or miss, even for my 4-year-old daughter who just loves princesses. Some of the games just don't work very well, so she's been a good sport about trying some of the games with me, but then we just keep on going back to Hiss because it's such a great game. And I love this. I love these monthly game chats because this gives me an opportunity to talk about games that we've had in my collection for years and that are still getting gameplay. And Hiss is one of those. We've had it for 5 or 6 years, and it still gets out. We get it out and we play it upon occasion because it's such a sweet, cute game. My boys loved it. My princess-loving daughter loves it. It works for everybody. It's these durable tiles that you're trying to match the colors together, and you play them out in the center, and you're trying to make complete snakes, and then you get to collect the snakes, and whoever has the most tiles at the end is the winner. So it's a very basic concept. Essentially no rules to explain, but it's so sweet and colorful and fun to play, and easy to pick up, set up, and clean up, that it just get played a bunch. So this is a princess-loving girl approved, and shout out to the games that are in the collection and are still being played years and years later. So that's it for my February game chat. Board games are a legitimate love language as far as I'm concerned, so play some board games with your loved ones. Have fun. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.